Have you ever thought about creating an Instagram page based on one of your passions, but you weren't really sure how to start things off? What kind of content would you post? How do you grow on a consistent basis? How do you go from 0 followers to 50, 100, even 1,000? Well, today I'm going to be helping you and telling you exactly how to do all of this. I'm here to tell you how to grow your Instagram page, even if you have no experience and no connections. Now, before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. If you found this video from my Instagram, then you already know who I am. But in the odd case that you found it through the YouTube Explore page, I feel like I need to tell you who I am. My name is Augustine, and about almost 3 years ago, I wanted to start an Instagram page based on one of my passions, which was football. And it started simply as an outlet to talk about the sport that I love. And after these 3 years, I've managed to take my page with 0 followers, with me having no experience, no connections, to now 80,000 followers on Instagram. And I've even managed to branch out to different social media platforms such as YouTube, hence why I'm here, Twitter, and even TikTok. Now again, whenever I started, I had no experience, I had no connections, I had no one to like shout out my account or anything like that. And I also didn't know how the algorithm worked. I didn't know any strategies to grow, any tips, any tricks. Most people, whenever they start their account, they find themselves in this situation, no experience, no connections. So I'm here to help you out. I'm here to be your experience. I'm here to be your connection. So in this video, I'm gonna cut through the bullshit. You already saw the length of this video. You know that it's pretty long. I'm not here to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours. So what I'm going to be telling you is I'm going to tell you about different strategies, different tips and tricks that you can use to make your account grow little by little. I'm going to tell you some methods that I use and some things that I keep in mind every day as I try to grow the brand of DFO. And simply, I'm going to tell you what you need to do to go from that 0 follower that you got right now to whatever you aspire to do. 3 things to keep in mind before we start. 1, I'm speaking solely from my own experience. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to grow. There's no such thing as the one way to grow on Instagram. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways, but I'm going to be speaking solely from my own experience. I'm going to tell you what works for me and what doesn't. Number 2, yes, I have an account based on football, but I think this video can help you out if you have any other hobby and if you want to start a page on whatever other passion you might have, photography, movies, whatever it may be. I think all the information that I tell you on this video can apply to everything else. It doesn't just have to be football. And lastly, number 3, I already made this video about 2 years ago, same topic, how to grow your account, but I did it 2 years ago when my account was at 17K based on the thumbnail. But in that video, I mostly cover the basics and the ethics of starting an account, and it's also very short. Whereas in this video, I'm gonna make it a lot longer, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about strategies, tips, and tricks, and how the algorithm works. But if you want to watch that video for a little bit of extra help, you can. I'm gonna tag it down below or like in the bio or somewhere along those lines. But yeah, without any more interruptions or information, let's just get this thing started. Number 1, before you even start your account, you need to come up with what you want to do. Now me, I chose football, but within football there's different genres. You can post about transfers and rumors, you can post comedy, memes, you can post debatable opinions, which is what I do. You can try to cover a certain club, a certain team. So whatever you choose, 90% of your post at least should be about that. I've seen a lot of pages where they start off one thing and then they post a lot more of something else. So that's just gonna confuse your followers, and you're flip-flopping between different genres, and it's just not gonna. You need to have a set genre. Basically, just stay on track of whatever your topic is. Let's talk about the username. The username should be something unique and something that tells me what your account is about without me necessarily having to go too much into detail or into your post or your bio or stuff like that. You might also refrain from using periods, numbers, underscore, stuff like that. Just make it look clean, look unique. I know my name is DebatableFootballOpinions, and that's a long, ugly name. So just don't get too caught up in the username. It should be important and it should tell people what your account is about, but don't get too caught up in it because it's very easy to overthink. Just make it something interesting, something unique. Don't be generic. Okay, so you've got what you want your account to be. You've got your username. Now let's talk about logos and branding. Logos and branding is super important. First off, it gives your account a better look, a more professional look. People will take you more seriously if you have a logo and if you do a little bit of branding with colors and such. Now, I made the mistake of not having any logos or any branding up until I had maybe 2,000 followers, where all of a sudden a follower of mine just hit me up on DMs and was like, hey, I thought your account could use some logos. So he just made some for me. Now, I'm not exactly sure what you can use for your logo. I'm not a creative person. I'm not artsy, and I don't know of any website or app that you can use to make a logo, but I did hit up the guy that made my own logo just for this video, and he told me that these are the 3 apps that he used to make my logo. So maybe check those out, but I'm pretty sure you can also check out other apps or websites, and you can even go to like maybe a website like Fiverr and pay someone maybe $5-10 to make a logo. Just something simple, something that catches people's attention. It doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. What I use for my stories also matters a lot. I'll tell you why. When I first started my account, I would do polls in my story, and I would just take a picture of like nothing, and I would put my finger in front of my camera, and then the background would just be black. Very ghetto, very stupid, and then I would make my poll. Nowadays, I have a background for my poll with my own personal colors, and so now let me show you something. Let's just go to a random poll that I posted today. The last 4 seasons, as an example, Thomas Mueller versus De Bruyne. My logo is up there, my name is up there, my color is up there, and anytime that this gets shared, for example, let's scroll up, it has 32 shares. That's 32 people that sent it to a friend. Maybe their friends aren't following me, but they see my colors, they see the logo, they see the name, and so it's bound to catch their attention. If it was just a regular background with like my finger on it, it would just look black and nothing on it. It just looks very bad. It doesn't look inviting. It doesn't look intriguing. So branding is very important. Same thing with colors. Whenever your followers go through stories and they see your colors, if you stick to an aesthetic, same thing with like the font that you use to write, people's brains will just click those colors with your account, if that makes sense. I don't know if I explained it correctly, but it's just very important that you keep that consistency going. Like, you have to have your own aesthetic. All right, last but not least, when it comes to branding and like making your account, you gotta use your bio wisely. Your bio should give people a rundown of what your account is about if they didn't get the gist of it from your username. Username. Now, my username is DebatableFootballOpinions. That's a very self-explanatory title for my account, but just in case, the first sentence in my bio is a place to discuss debatable football opinions. Secondly, I have DM me your opinions, which lets people know that my DMs are open and that every opinion that I post in my story is follower submitted, meaning that this is basically an account for the people, for people to tell me their opinions and I post them. So just based on one sentence, I let people know all of this. Your bio, again, should be something that tells me what your account is about, and you have like 3 sentences, so use them wisely. Okay, so you're starting your account. You first have to tell your friends and family about it. That's just what you're gonna have to do in the beginning. That's what I started doing. I told my friends and family about it, and luckily enough, at the time when I started my account, I was a bartender at an average pub where people watched a lot of football. So I used to just tell my close customers about it, and whether or not they had Instagram, I kind of spread the word around. So like anytime that my customers would go through, my regulars, they would ask me, hey, how's your Instagram doing? And like some of them followed. People spread the word around to different maybe other friends and stuff like that. So that took me from like 0 followers to 50 just straight from the get-go. So that's just what you want to do in the beginning. And yeah, 50 followers might not look like much, but you just started, you're desperate for anything, okay? So that's just what you want to do in the beginning. Just tell your friends and family about it. Don't be ashamed. But the most important thing you can do to grow is make yourself be seen. I'm gonna repeat that once again because it's so important. You have to let yourself be seen. You cannot stay within a little bubble and just post and post and post and expect interaction to come through. What I mean by making yourself be seen is interact in other people's comment sections. Let yourself be seen in their comment section. Debate with another person, even if it's like not even a big account. Even if it's just a random person, just have a debate with them, have a great talk with them. Basically, be active, be in people's comment sections. This takes me to the next thing. Interact with other big accounts, or maybe they're smaller than you, or maybe they're within the same range. Just interact with other content creators. That's also a great way to let yourself be seen. Nowadays, there's so many things that you can do to interact with them. You can tag them in your post, in your captions. You can do collaborative post, which is a new feature that Instagram has now. You can give yourself shout out to shout out if you want, but just get to know the people within your community, and maybe you'll get along with some of them. Make friends, be social. Don't just stay within your bubble and, like I said, expect followers to come through, because in the beginning it's very hard for people to find you organically. You're not gonna make it to the explore page. You're not gonna appear in people's feed as like the recommended post or account. So just let yourself be seen, interact with people, do collaborations, just be in people's comment sections. And so this takes me to one of the best strategies that I do on the regular that goes within the let yourself be seen thing, trying to get top comment. Now what I do is I have post notifications on for BR Football. BR Football is this football account that has maybe 10 million followers, and anytime that they post, and they post pretty regularly, I get a notification. So I go into my phone, I see what the post is about, and the first thing that comes in my head, I commented. Whether it's something funny, something witty, something interesting, the first thing that pops in my head, just say it. Because what you're trying to accomplish is you're trying to get top comment. If you get a lot of likes, if you get the most likes, you'll be the first person that pops up in the comment section. And that account, BR Football, is really, really big. You can also try it in different accounts. Going back to football, you can maybe do 433, Sky Sports, Goal Global, I think it's called. There's a lot of big pages like that. But yeah, again, if you get top comment, you're the first one to be seen. Let's say you got 10,000 likes and that got you top comment. Let's just say only 1,000 check out your account to see what the heck that's about. And now let's say that out of that 1,000 people, only 100 followed you. 100 people following you just based on one comment. It's huge. Getting top comment is great. It gives your account a lot of exposure. And again, this takes no effort whatsoever. All you have to do is have post notifications on, comment the first thing. You'll get a lot of exposure, a lot. Heck, there's times when like I'm not gaining that many followers per day, and then all of a sudden I'll see that I get a shit ton of followers this one day, and I'm like, wait, why? Why did this happen all of a sudden? And then I realized that it's because I got top comment in BR Football. So again, I cannot stress it enough. Very fun and challenging way to grow followers. Just get top comment on a big account. Okay, I'm going to talk about two of the most important things on Instagram: content and interaction. First off, content, whether you like it or not, whenever you start your account, you're in a constant battle between you and other pages that are way bigger than you, that are within your genre, to see who posts the better content. A regular Instagram user is not going to follow 10 different accounts based on pages that do rumors and transfers and stuff like that. They'll just follow one or two of the best ones. So if you're just starting off as a page that wants to do transfers or rumors, for example, you have to bring in something that sets you apart from other people. It sucks because you're at a disadvantage from the start because you're a brand new page. So whatever you do, just try to have something that sets you as unique, something that sets you apart from the competition. Now me, for example, I'm gonna use two examples that I've done in my account. One thing that people really liked in the beginning when I first started my account is ranking posts. Whenever I said, hey, rank these 4 players from best to worst, it will get a lot of comments, a lot of interactions. People started even submitting 4 of their own players. So I realized that people like this. You have to listen to what people are liking, and you can see this looking at the numbers. You can see this by reading DMs and seeing what people are suggesting. You can simply ask people what they want to see more of. So that's one thing I did. Secondly, the thing that I did that really set my account apart from a lot of other accounts for me was threads, football threads. This all started because one person just one day wrote a 10-slide thread full of analysis about why Messi was better than Ronaldo, or why TAA was better than Wan-Bissaka, and he just submitted it in my DMs, and I was like, hey, we could really turn this into something. Make a Twitter thread and I would post it. So that's how it started. It blew off because threads weren't really a popular thing back in the day, about 2-3 years ago. I don't want to say that I made them popular, but I made them popular. And so he started writing threads for me, and he went on to have like 30K followers on Twitter. I helped him out grow and he helped me out. It's just this whole deal that we had going on. And so threads just became a thing in my account, the thing that not a lot of people were doing, not a lot of people were posting. A lot of people were focusing on being generic and doing what works, but I was focused on being different and being unique, having something that sets me apart from the competition. Now when this guy stopped writing threads for me, I just took action and I made a group chat of people that were interested in writing threads. I think I have like 10 or 15 people that used to write threads for me just because I knew that I didn't have that guy anymore. So yeah, just take action, realize what people like, set yourself apart from the competition, do something that sets your account as unique. That's as easy as it gets, really. That's the case with anything. If you have a business, you have to be better than whoever's across the street from you. You have to offer something else. If you're the same, you're not gonna get anywhere far. You're just gonna stay the same as anybody else. And we're not trying to be the same, we're trying to be better. Okay, let's talk about interactions. Interactions, I cannot stress it enough, are very important. I'll tell you why. If you have 10,000 followers, you post something, it will not be shown in all 10,000 followers feed. It'll show in maybe 10%, 20% of those followers that you have. That's just because Instagram doesn't show every post equally. Has your best friend ever made a post on Instagram and you definitely see that on your feed, but maybe a person that you never interact with, someone that from your school or someone you never talk to, you barely see their post on their feed because that's just how Instagram does it. If you interact with someone a lot, if you talk on DMs, if you like their photos, liking their photos is a big one. If you comment, if you're on their page a lot, it'll be pushed to the very top of the feed so you don't miss it, because Instagram want to ensure that whoever uses their app stays in that app. And so if you spend a lot of time in my page interacting, debating, all this stuff, my content will be pushed to your feed a lot more. This is also why I recommend doing polls, because every time you click on my poll, and I do hundreds of them each day, each time that you click on a poll, you're interacting with my account. Each time you ask me a question or you make an answer in one of those question boxes in my story, each time you hit like in one of my posts, each time you go into the comment section, each time you comment, you're basically pushing my account more and more towards your feed. So now that you're a creator, you have to do stuff that will make people interact with you more. What I do a lot of Q&As. I go live so people can get to know me. That's a big thing. Create a bond with your followers so you're not just being a generic account. Pin comments, reply to comments, reply to DMs, open them at least. Heck, in my account, I have like 3-4 inside jokes of like the really OG followers know these jokes. There's a lot of banter in my account. There's a couple meme pages. We like to have a lot of fun in my account, and it's just because of that interaction, because I formed a bond with my followers. It's okay if you want to keep yourself private and you're not too comfortable with showing yourself or doing Q&As, stuff like that. But I'm not just trying to tell you how to grow your account. I'm also trying to help you grow a community. So just interact with people, make jokes, don't take yourself so serious. For fuck's sake, open DMs. You're not some kind of celebrity. Like, I have 1,000 DMs and I don't consider myself special. It's just DMs asking me to post something in their story, and I still try to like open as much as I can. It's physically impossible for me to open them all, but I at least try to open as many as I can. So just do the same thing, especially when you're starting off. Just interact with people. Interaction is super important. The more people interact with you, the more your account will be pushed to their feeds. That's how the algorithm works. And if your account gets pushed to a lot of people's feed, it'll have a lot of likes, it'll reach a lot of people, and then it'll end up in the explore page the more it grows. And then that just means kaboom, your post blew up, and it guarantees you a lot of followers. So yeah, you do the little things and it kind of just goes up and up and up, and like it becomes a big thing. So yeah, that's what I can leave you with. Interact a lot. Very important for the algorithm reasons, but also to create a bond with your followers, because you can't just be a robotic generic page. Just try to connect with these people. A few more things that I can leave you with before I stop the video. Insights, they're the numbers and information about your account. In the beginning, whenever you start off, insights don't tell you much, so don't worry too much about numbers. Later on, whenever you do grow a lot more, you can kind of see, based on the numbers, you can see what works in your account and what doesn't. But in the beginning, they're a little bit less important. One thing that does help is you can go into your insights and you can see when your followers are the most active, and those should be your prime hours. For me, it's 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I try to post the most between those hours. So yeah, that's one of the things that you can do at the beginning. Also, speaking of whenever you do grow a little bit more and you're in the few thousand followers, make your post be pleasing to the eye. Just expect that your post will make it to the explore page, so you have to wonder, what can I post that will catch people's eyes in case I make it to the explore page? Because whenever you go to the explore page, you have like 15 posts to look at all at once, and you're only gonna click one. So I usually try to, instead of just posting a tweet, I will post a tweet on top of a picture of a player, because the player I know will bring people's attention. So that's another thing that I could leave you with. I used to just post a picture of a tweet and just have people debate. Didn't really get much reach, so I started doing this. I'm gonna leave you with 2 more things about Instagram settings, and then I'm gonna talk to you about one of the most important things that I do in my account. One thing, going private or going public. Going private only helps you if you post a lot of shareable content, so stuff like memes. Because how many times have we sent a meme to a friend and that meme was from a page that was public, and then that just encouraged your friend to follow that account just to see what the meme is all about. But if you're anything else other than a meme page, I would suggest just going public. I've gone public throughout the whole duration of my account. I know a lot of other content creators that are really big as well have been public all their lives. And also, it's important that I tell you that if you go private, you can't check your insights. Like, you can't check the number of people you've reached, you can't check all the numbers and information. It's just not available. Even if you go public later, I don't think you can check it up until like maybe 30 days, something like that. So I would just suggest going public, and even if you're a meme page, maybe just, I don't know, maybe go private, but up to you. Second thing, hashtags. I find hashtags completely useless. I don't think I've ever used hashtags. I think I've used them twice, only as an experiment to see if they truly helped. But throughout my whole duration of the account, I've never used hashtags, I don't think, other than, again, experiment. You'll grow just fine. Hashtags don't serve the purpose anymore than they did maybe when it was 2015, 2016, when Instagram was a much smaller place. So yeah, I would just say don't worry too much about hashtags. I don't think they serve the purpose that they served a long time ago. All right, and then last but not least, I know that this video got really long, but I'm gonna tell you about one of the most important lessons now that it's the end of the video, just because if you made it through this whole end of the video, that means you are very serious about growing. And because it's a fucking, like, what, 25-minute, 30-minute video. So again, I know you're serious about this, so I'm gonna leave you with one of the most important things that I follow every day. The thing that I follow every day is the balance of ambition. This applies whenever your account has grown a little bit and you've seen a little bit of success. Let's say you got 5K followers, 10K, 15, 20K, and you're growing consistently, you're growing constantly. It's very easy to get caught up in the opportunities in the long term. Now let's look at one side of the balance. It's very easy to get caught up in a lot of opportunities, or like, hey, what could I do with this account? Could this be something serious? Could I turn this into something? How many followers will I have in a year, in 2 years? What kind of big account could I collaborate with? It's very easy to get caught up in all these opportunities and all these long-term ideas, but you have to look at the other side of the balance and not lose track of the short term, basically the stuff that took you where you are now. You have to get better day to day. You have to put in that work. You have to make those posts, interact with people, come up with better content each day. You have to keep on trying to improve and set yourself apart from everybody else. So this is what I try to follow. I have indeed in the past thought about long-term success, and I'm proud to say that because I thought of the long term, I was able to turn Instagram into my full-time job. And secondly, I just got a job with one football company that I really, really admire, and it's almost like a dream job. And I achieved this because I thought long term, because I thought of all the possibilities, because I'm ambitious. Balance of ambition. But despite doing all this, I never lost track of the other side of the balance, and I never lost track about putting in the work every day, every morning, learning how I can improve, coming up with different graphics, learning what's more pleasing to the eye in case I make the Explore page, learning what works and what doesn't. Basically, if you see some success coming in your account, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you to not reach for the stars. You see all these opportunities, go for them. But don't lose track of what got you there in the first place. It's the balance of ambition. Think long term, reach for whatever the fuck you want to reach. If you see some success coming, good for you. But don't lose track of what took you there, and don't think you've made it. Because Instagram is a very unpredictable place that you can go down just as easily as you went up. So that's one of the most important things, if not the most important lesson that I can leave you with, balance of ambition. But anyways, that sums up the video. If you follow all of these things that I've mentioned, I guarantee you that you can get far. And if you have any other questions, my DMs again are completely open. You can DM me on my football account, and if I take too long to answer, you can just go to my personal account and then just ask me whatever you have in mind. Maybe something that I didn't mention in this video, maybe something was a little bit unclear. I'm happy to help out anybody who reaches out to me. One thing I'd like to add, my YouTube channel is monetized, but I think throughout my whole YouTube career, I've made maybe $20. So I'm definitely not doing this video. I'm not trying to help you out because I get money or this video was sponsored or anything, because it's not. I'm just trying to help you because whenever I started off, I had no connections. I had no idea how anything worked, and I wish somebody would have helped me out back then. I know there's a lot of great content creators out there that are putting in the work, that they're hustling, they are good at what they do, but they're just not, they're missing that X factor. They're missing that audience. So I'm just trying to help people out. I'm trying to give them that exposure. Again, my DMs are open, so I'll see you there in case you have any other questions. But as always, I will see you guys next time again, possibly next week. Thank you all for watching this whole long video. Take care and cheers.